the water on the shore began to recede at an alarming rate. Joel realized that an unprecedented tsunami was coming. In order to save himself, Joel immediately turned the ship around. He was heading for the depths of the ocean. At the same time, the other speedboat drivers did the same. It turns out it's safer to stay away from the shore, because the deeper water, the waves are not that high. As long as they jumped over before the tsunami was complete, they'll be fine. But the tsunami has already formed, the height of the terrible wave. It's approaching the bridge. Although the power of the speedboat may not be able to climb up the tsunami, but in order to survive, there's no turning back. Joel also decided to increase the horsepower. He started charging towards the tsunami with all his might. Soon a large number of speedboats began to climb, and with a climb angle of 60 to 70 degrees, even the fire extinguishers on the yachts fell down. The yacht next to it was underpowered. It rolled over, swallowed by the waves, and Joel was about to cross the summit. The woman on the other side of the boat showed a look of horror. A huge freighter suddenly appeared. The two ships were about to collide. Joel was so scared that he started to maneuver, but the two of them had just dodged a bullet. The next moment a container fell from the ship. Luckily, Joel managed to avoid it, and he finally reached safe water. But the 100,000-ton freighter, it fell headlong into the sea. With a terrifying tsunami, it washed over the bridge in front of it. In the next second, the bridge was completely destroyed. The people on the bridge were defenseless. Then a huge wave quickly rushed toward the shore. People were frightened and ran in all directions, but they were dying in the face of the terror of the sea. It's just that. The fierce sea was flowing towards the whole city. There was no hope of escape. The two old men stopped struggling. They embraced each other tightly, cherishing their last moments. And the people in the streets are still running for their lives. But in the face of nature, people are so small. A city destroyed by the sea. It all started 3 days ago. People who didn't know the disaster was coming. As usual, they were excited to visit the magnificent dam. Meanwhile, a geology professor and his assistant, a professor of geology and his assistant were conducting an experiment to predict earthquakes. But just as they were celebrating their success, the earthquake prediction device suddenly received a violent signal, and the dam began to shake slightly. And the next moment, a strong tremor was felt. The professor on the dam rushed to his computer. To his surprise, in just a few moments, the intensity of the quake had reached 7.1. Then a huge crack appeared in the wall of the dam. The dam can't withstand this magnitude. It's collapsing. People were scared and ran away. The assistant had just run out of the dam, but just as he was about to leave, he found a scared little girl. In order to save her, the assistant was in great danger. At the last moment, he desperately threw the girl into the safe zone, but he himself was pierced by a steel bar in his right foot. That's how he was delayed. The next moment the dam collapses. The floodwaters were like a wild animal that swallowed everything in an instant.